Hey, so I'm back with Rich, and we made a little adjustment for the sunlight factor, and we're still talking about his sale and the new purchase, the new home he bought. And so, Rich, just what made you choose myself and Landmark and our team coming out of the gate?
Well, honestly, it just was the references that I had checked and the honesty and integrity that you dealt with, your experience with communities selling homes in town, small towns, as well as out in rural areas. Is really that rural experience is what tipped it, with the honesty and integrity, which was very apparent throughout this whole process for me as well.
Good.
That was a big part.
Good, thank you. That's it's we love hearing that, and it is a big part of the whole process. It's a big move. It's probably the biggest investment that we all have is in our home. And when how long had you been in that home?
Almost 4 years.
So to be somewhere and then have to pick up and move, it's not for the faint of heart.
No, I don't want to do it again.
I'll bet you don't. Hopefully you won't have to. So
and you need to know, for a Husker fan,
yeah,
to choose a Buffalo fan to sell my property,
there had to be some credentials.
Your honesty and integrity.
Well, thank you. I knew you were thinking about selling, or had previously sold. I saw it in the realtor database that you'd previously been on the market. And
which, by the way, when you bring that up, you sent a card.
Yes.
And that card sat on that counter with your information, and then I started checking out some references.
Good.
And it was that card that
Good.
ultimately probably led me down your
Wow.
direction.
Well, thanks for remembering that and mentioning that. You can't make stuff like this up. It sounds so much better when you say it, as a customer.
Well, it had huge impact.
Well, thank you.
It just sat there.
Thank you. And so, with that being said, when you got this and saw that perhaps it could happen, then your confidence just started building in our team to make it happen?
Meeting with you is really what confirmed it for me.
Okay.
Just sitting there talking that day, meeting Melissa.
Yeah, at our office.
Yeah.
Okay, seeing where we work and how we work.
Yeah.
Good. Well, Melissa, who's not in the camera, she's doing the work. I coached her husband in Pee Wee Sports, so we go back a long ways. And she is a very experienced office manager. Her new title is Director of Operations, because that's truly what she is.
Good.
And there's nothing.
I've told her several times, whatever you're paying her, it's not enough.
You keep saying that. You said that. Okay, Chris.
Now it's on camera.
A couple times. Yeah. Good for you. Hey, I am not here to argue that at all. So, and I think it's awesome. And so in that train of thought, what did you think of our communication just throughout the process?
It was absolutely excellent.
Okay.
The constant changing of Facebook, the positive inputs when I would see it on Facebook that just made it look very positive, constantly staying in touch with me. It was excellent.
Good.
It just made me feel like we got a chance.
So from start to finish, did you feel like you were totally informed and we were on top of everything?
Completely.
Good. Was there anything that we did you could recall that made it more or less stressful or just easier? Anything that stuck out?
I don't know if there's any one thing, but I mean, right from the very beginning with how you handled it from the beginning and just took control of it, made me feel like, there's really nothing here for me to do. I can trust the team. And each week felt more positive that this is going to sell.
Good.
And once we started having people actually look at the place,
yes.
You have to think the first time I tried to sell it and I had it on the market for 8 months, not even one person looked at the house.
That's got to be discouraging.
Now that's my fault because I had it overpriced.
Well, but the person you hire has got to, it's hard to have these real conversations. But when you're retaining our services, part of our job is to not sugarcoat. And part of our job is to have the tough conversations.
Yeah.
And, some people want to put a Band-Aid on a broken bone. And sometimes, a broken bone, when you got to set that bone. Yeah. And I'm not saying your bone was broken. We have had clients, where there was just a huge disconnect between reality and a lot of times people in real estate base their sales price on what they would like to get. And I would love to be the person that helps people get that, and our team would love to do that. But really what we're doing is we're positioning your home where the market will respond and the sale will result. But that requires some tough conversations.
Yeah, and you were always straightforward on those tough conversations, so it was constant. Whether it was text or email from Melissa, your phone calls, a couple times that we were on phone calls together with the three of us, all of those things throughout the process. Because probably the first time I was that guy that, I was selling it for what I want, what I wanted to get out of it,
You're not alone.
And I wasn't willing to bend too much. And
right.
Your straightforward honesty from the very beginning helped me realize if I'm going to sell it, it's not going to be at that price.
Well, and I think when you do properly position the price, when we're in the market at the right price, the rest of the process just becomes very doable and very tangible. And when we did get into the marketing and negotiation, was there anything that stood out or anything you liked about that?
Again, it was always you were straightforward and said, here's what I think we should do. You always left it up to me to make that final, but I think the straightforward, candid conversations that here's what I believe.
Yes.
Helped me along the process.
Appreciate that. We try to be very straightforward. And, Richard brought up a good point. When we work in partnership with our clients, we see ourselves as the president's cabinet, but we see our client as the president. And so what does the president deserve? He deserves timely information, honest and accurate information, and our best advice as to what we would do in his shoes. But we're not him. It's not our money. It's not our property. It's not our call to make. So you make the call, but we try to give you all the tools, and we back it with science. We do our homework. We get a lot of statistical data, a lot of market data, and we harness that for you so that when you do make a decision, it's an informed decision, not based on my opinion or my thoughts, what I had for breakfast or whatever. It's based on what the science says.
Yeah, that was most helpful. Honestly.
Good. So the sales process was smoother than you thought. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely.
Good. Well, that's part of the process for us. If a pilot lands a plane and it encounters a lot of turbulence, and by the time the wheels are on the ground, everyone is sick in their stomach. Yes, the plane was landed, but what we try to do is not only land the plane, but keep you informed and make the process as pleasant as possible.
Well, even, there was a point that I believed the plane was going to land, but without wheels.
Foam the runway.
But with the work that you did and the work that Melissa did, the wheels got down and it was a smooth landing.
Right on. Well, that's what we try. And that's just another instance where when you have a team that works well together, that has a history of producing top results, then you can expect those same results. And, everybody likes to advertise and write a check with their lips, but at a certain point, you got to cash that check with your backside. And I'm glad we were able to cash that check for you.
Absolutely.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, let's talk about your new home. So the whole process, as exciting as it is of selling your home, now we're pivoting into you're buying a new home. Let's talk a little bit about that. What stood out to you as far as our team's helping with you buying a new home?
Well, you came ready when we decided to go look, and we had picked out some properties, and you were ready. You had all the information together. You made the arrangements. We had a few hiccups there, not because of you, but that one hiccup is the one that made you ask, wasn't there another property that you talked about? And I said, yeah, they're over there on Shetland Drive. There's 4 or 5 houses, but it's all new construction and it has to be an HOA. and all you did was say, wanna go look? And so we did.
Yeah.
Here we are.
So talking about buying your new home, and it was fascinating, this LGI community. I want to give a quick shout out to Hugh and to Christy. We had actually worked together on another project in Elbert County, and I had sold some of their homes there, and just very familiar. One of the things unscripted that I like about LGI is that they always have some inventory ready to go.
Yeah.
And they preload their homes with standard features that for most builders are upgrades. And so you don't really have to get the cheese pizza home that brings you in and then they start selling you all the toppings and those are extra. You're getting that base home loaded and ready to go. Yeah. And so when we came over to this community and we got to meet and we had kind of a reunion and you saw that, hey, I knew the people, we have a great history. What did that do for you?
Well, I mean, that meant a lot because, coming over, we didn't know that, right?
Right.
You didn't know it was LGI.
No. Well, I didn't know it was you and
right.
Christy. I don't.
Right. And so to know that you had worked with them before, had some dealings with them before, that's huge. And then, of course, when I found out Hugh was a Husker fan, well, where else am I going to buy then?
Well, and let's talk about some of the incentives that they provided you. You locked in at $399.
$399.
Yeah, and I think the par rate at that point maybe 6.5 out there.
Yeah, I didn't think I'd get anything anywhere close to that.
And they gave you some closing costs on top of that as well.
Closing costs. Minimal down.
Yeah.
I couldn't ask for a better setup.
Well, they're an easy company to have confidence in, and that team of you and Christy, I know they're committed, and having already experienced them taking care of other clients of mine, I knew we were in. The thing for me, and the fact that this community in Bennett is not in a subdivision that has its own covenants, that's just mind-blowing to me. This is just basically a part of the town of Bennett.
Yeah, I wouldn't have. If there had been an HOA, I wouldn't have bought.
Okay.
I wouldn't, honestly, it would have been great if I could have found something that was 1 acre, but
right?
They're not really out there.
No, but you have a generous backyard, buddy.
I have a good-sized backyard.
Yeah.
It's a very nice house.
Oh, it's an amazing home.
When we went looking for houses that Saturday, there isn't any way in the world that I thought I'd be walking away that Saturday with. So,
locked in. Yeah, well, good. Well, I think the buy side, it's just as important as the sale side, if not more important, from the standpoint of this is where you're going to be living. This is, selling is where you have lived, and that needs to be taken care of and buttoned up. But to just, change hats like that, and now you're a buyer, your property's under contract, we've got that covered for you. We're going to get that done. That's a big pivot emotionally. It's a big pivot. You're having to just kind of put a whole new strategy together. And how did you see how just us helping you with that? How did that go?
I know there was a lot of stuff behind the scenes.
Yes.
Melissa was working with Stacy, and I forget the other girl's name that was there. So a lot of it was just handled behind the scenes with Melissa. So it was completely seamless for me.
Right on. Right on.
Yeah, no stress at all.
Well, to be here with you the evening of the day of the double closing, and it literally, the sun was setting. We started first thing in the morning,
and
I think you started with a massive accident on the highway.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
Yeah, I was supposed to be at closing at 9:15. I considered not meeting my friend for breakfast at 6, but I'm like, we got plenty of time, and I did. And then I-70 got shut down, and there I sat at 8:17, and they finally opened it up and let us out at 9:42.
Wow, hour and a half.
No, it was longer than that. I think I didn't show up to closing until 10:25.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, and you know, as big of a day as that is for you, what a way to get that ball rolling.
Oh yeah. I mean, for Melissa to hang out at closing with the notary. Unfortunately, the notary didn't have another appointment right after.
Yeah.
So for Melissa to be there and hang out and just wait, because I was an hour and 20 minutes late, and I couldn't. There wasn't a thing I could do about it.